How Darth Plagueis murdered his own master. Darth Tenebrous, also known as Rugus Gnome, was a male Bith Dark Lord of the Sith of the lineage of Darth Bane. In his public persona as Gnome, he was a legendary artisanal starship designer with a reputation spanning the galaxy. As the Sith Lord Darth Tenebrous, he was a scientific mastermind possessed of a calculating intellect with an obsession on shaping the future. After being selected as an apprentice by a Twi'lek Sith Lord, Rugus Gnome became Darth Tenebrous. Together, he and his master devoted themselves to the grand plan. In the mix, Darth Tenebrous constructed a red lightsaber, and would go on to wield the weapon when he either sparred or honed his lightsaber combat skills. One of the schemes Tenebrous and his master devised was the development of a targeted virus that would sever the Jedi's connection to the Force. Yet despite spending years developing the virus, the project was ultimately a failure. Tenebrous eventually came to see the dark side of the Force not as a kind of malevolent mystic sentience bent on spreading suffering throughout the galaxy, but as an energy source, which could, like any energy source, be manipulated. When Gnome saw no further use for his master, he killed him. Rugus Gnome was widely known for creating legendary starship designs throughout the galaxy, whilst hiding his identity as a Sith Lord. In searching for a Sith apprentice, Tenebrous manipulated a middle-ranking intergalactic bank agent named Car Damask into meeting his future wife, knowing that if they had a child, their offspring would be strong in the Force. When the expected child, Higo Damask, turned 5, Gnome traveled to Mai Gito and was able to convince his parents to hand him over. Tenebrous took the child as his apprentice, naming him Darth Plagueis. In 67 BBY, Tenebrous and his apprentice, Plagueis, traveled to the planet Bal Demnik to investigate a load of cortosis ore. However, their M2 mining probe droid had been sabotaged by subtext mining and ignited a pocket of lethane gas, causing a massive explosion. Though Tenebrous managed to contain the explosion, Plagueis saw the opportunity to kill his master, collapsing the ceiling of the cavern onto Tenebrous. Dying, Tenebrous congratulated his apprentice on succeeding him. However, the rockfall had crushed the starship the two Sith had arrived on, and Plagueis was effectively stranded in a place where he required an envirosuit to survive. When he realized that his apprentice's desire to kill him had seriously endangered the continuation of the Sith, Tenebrous expressed disappointment in his pupil. Plagueis, angered by this, broke the Bith's neck. As the unconscious gnome slowly died, Plagueis utilized the Force to study microscopic changes in Tenebrous's body, observing the slow death of his neurons and midichlorians. However, this was not the end of Tenebrous, who ensured the survival of his own consciousness into altered midichlorians, which he labeled maxichlorians. Those maxichlorians would then migrate not into the Force, but into Plagueis, the diseased one. Not possessing a Bith's precision, Plagueis would never suspect Tenebrous's consciousness was inside his body, infecting cells with maxichlorians that would cut off the host of its Force sensitivity. In order to fulfill his goals, Tenebrous sacrificed his ability to sense the motion of the future, something he no longer required since he already knew his future. As his body died, Darth Tenebrous entered his apprentice's body and slipped into his cells. As the retrovirus propagated, the Bith gained access to Plagueis's powers of foresight. At that moment, he discovered and felt Plagueis's own death at the hands of his apprentice, which was only visible as a smear of darkness. That vision horrified him. Plagueis would die too soon, and Tenebrous would not fulfill his ultimate goal, seizing and becoming the Chosen One when he would appear. With that being said, thank you guys for watching, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share.